Hey Raghunath, tell everyone about our Patreon community.
Sure, Kastuba. The Wisdom of the Sages Patreon community is an incredible online yoga resource. If you like the type of yoga wisdom and culture we share on the show, then our Patreon community is a great next step. This is a listener-supported podcast, and any level of sponsorship will unlock a wide range of live and archived classes, talks, and even workshops.
Raghunath teaches, I teach, and we have a host of other excellent teachers on topics ranging from yoga philosophy, asana classes, storytelling, Ayurveda, kirtan, cooking, meditation, and a lot more.
We even have an incredible online Bhakti 12-step recovery group.
So if you want to check it out, go to patreon.com/wisdom of the sages.
All right, let's get it on.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Live from Super Soul Farm, this is Wisdom of the Sages, a daily yoga podcast with your host, Raghunath, and co-host and senior educator at the Bhakti Center in New York, Kastuba Das. Welcome to the show, everybody. Welcome to the Srimad-bhagavatam study on this Friday morning. Still jet lagged. And
I'm feeling you jet lagged, Raghunath. I'm feeling
my
a
jet
little
lag.
lack
I
of
was like up
spunk, a
early
little lack of
yesterday.
energy.
Well, it was Rocco's birthday. And me and my ex-spouse went, and we had probably one of the first times we hung out together.
How'd it
Hung
go?
out with the kids for the birthday. And there's something I think all divorces should be settled at a trampoline park. It's like,
It worked?
you don't need lawyers. You need to just jump up and down where everybody's sort of lighthearted and just like, let's make arrangements. Let's figure out stuff right now. With the combined collective, trying to financial expense of like $700 an hour, probably, let's just jump up and down. They even have these big foam whackers. You could whack each other on a log. I mean, you want to get into something? Let's just whack it out. Let's just whack it out. You know what I mean? Let's just get on that balancing beam and whack it out each other. Okay. Who gets the kids the extra day of the 7 days? Whack it out. Timing for the summer. Whack it out. Who gets the kids on weekends? Whack it. Just gotta whack these things away. That was my theory.
It went well. It went well.
It went well. It was like
Good.
whack. It was civil. It was understanding.
But you stayed up late and you're tired now. I can tell.
I was so tired. I was driving home and I was like falling asleep at the wheel. And I always fall asleep at the wheel, but I was really like, blacking out, waking up. I was like, okay, I got it.
You gotta be careful about that.
I know. Well, I got out and had her drive.
Okay.
But yeah. Anyway,
All right.
You know what else? I'm going through nose issues today. I'm looking at my nose and I'm realizing, like, man, when I wear glasses, it almost looks like wear those fake eyes and nose.
Okay.
My nose has become like my father's nose. It's getting bulbous and bigger than life. And it's just not going to get any better from here. And it's not like uplift. I know I'm not the body, but
At a certain age,
I'm not the nose. It's just what happens when you get old. Your nose becomes a thing.
It's okay. It's got some character. It's fine.
I know, but W.C. Fields' noses also had character.
Yeah, I know. Well, the guy, he made a career out of it.
Yeah. Anyway, that's how I'm feeling today. But those are feelings, not facts. Those just
Okay.
what I'm going through right now, and I'm really sitting in a pool of overwhelm. I was just coming from like Harry Ball. I was coming from that world, like where you are right now. There's like, a palm tree and a banana tree behind you out the window. Probably someone picking those, harvesting those and handing them through the window for you, or you can just go out and pick them. And I'm like, okay, I got to pick this kid up at this time. Got to pick this kid up at that time. I got to bring my car in. My car's not working well. It's making a sound. I hope they have a loan. It's just like overwhelm of the minutia of material existence is hitting me hard today.
You know what sounds
That's
like you need?
up. Huh?
You know what sounds like you need?
What?
You are out of it, man.
Srimad-bhagavatam? Or are you
There
gonna
you
say
go.
something
Thank you.
like I need to
Yes,
get on the
yes.
treadmill?
That's
Or
why we gather here, Raghunath. That's why we gather every day.
I need to put it in perspective. Gus has got issues. My dogs can't walk down the flight of stairs anymore.
Oh man.
Anyway, it's been
Okay, come on. Let's perk up a little bit. We got to get
right.
you out of this funk. Mara, any announcements this morning?
Yeah, we got an asana class with our friend Josh Kane at 10:30 a.m. today for our Patreon members.
Yeah.
We should mention it's Skinner G's birthday, the bright light. So happy birthday to Kelly Skinner.
Happy birthday, Kelly Skinner.
And then tomorrow our show will be back to the 8 a.m. time slot for Q&A Saturday, Sleeping Saturday.
Okay.
And on Sunday, the Bhakti Center has their monthly Urban Davy gathering.
Oh, you're on that. Good for you, Mara. I'm
Yes.
glad you. Okay.
Yeah, so that'll be at 11 a.m. And it's the topic is befriending our parts with Shamala Priya Devidasi.
And if people want it, that Urban Davy is great sangha for ladies, right? And they do this once a month. They get together. They have an online get together, and you go to where do you go? You go to bhakticenter.org.
You can go to bhakticenter.org. Yeah.
And look for Urban Davy, and they give you the link to join that Zoom meeting, right?
Yep, and that's 11 a.m. Eastern time this Sunday.
All right.
Alrighty.
Okay, Raghu, let's get right into it.
A collective prayer towards Ramad Devi's niece who's struggling in the hospital.
Oh,
We're
wow.
gonna say Hare Krishna together. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Prayers go out for everybody going through a little pain in material existence right now. It's hard having a body. Once you have a body, get ready.
Nose grows.
Nose gets distorted. It gets little dots. My father used to have little tiny thousands of little dots in his nose. I used to look at it when I was a kid up close. I was like, examine that.
Do you find Tarun looking at your nose in the same way now?
Probably. And don't feel pity for me, people. It's gonna happen to your nose too.
All right.
Pity me not. Looking at everybody's face. Give it time, people. Okay. I almost said Om Namo. Om Nam Nose.
Nose.
Om
Nam
Namo.
Nose.
But wait, what am I doing?
I want to say Narayanam.
Ya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tatu Jayam Diraya. Before we started the Srimad-bhagavatam, which is a very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisances to the Supreme Lord Narayan. Unto Narayan Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and to Srila Vyasadeva, the author. Nasta prayeshvabhadreshu nityam bhagavat sevaya bhagavati utamashloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki, by regular attendance in classes in the Bhagavatam and by rendering service to the pure devotee. All that is troublesome to the heart will become eradicated, and loving service to the Supreme Lord, who is praised with transcendental songs, will be established as an irrevocable fact. Om Gyana Tamarandasya Gyanan Janasalakaya Chaksurun Madatam Yena Asmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in the darkness of ignorance. My teachers are opening my eyes with the torchlight of knowledge. I offer my obeisances at their lotus feet.
Right.
Where are we at, Mara?
Reading from Canto 5, Chapter 5, Text 15.
Canto 5, Chapter 5. The Lord
Text
Rishabh-
15. We have Rishabhadev speaking. Lord Rishabhadev, this is an incarnation of Lord Vishnu, but manifests as a king. But he's about to walk away from his kingly duties. He's going to begin to go into a life of renunciation and deep spiritual meditation. But he's speaking to his sons before he leaves, right?
Yeah.
He's got advice to give. And this advice, he's kind of like he's pushing bhakti, but with a good dose of renunciation blended into it. Like he's speaking straight about how one gets diverted in this life, right? He's just kind of laying it out, little stark, isn't he?
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
Want to read it?
Yes. Text 15. If one is serious about going back to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the summum bonum and chief.
Summum bonum.
Summum bonum. That word's used a lot.
Why don't we look that up, Mayor, just to make sure we got that right?
It means like the essence.
The summum bonum.
The summum
Bonum.
bonum.
Like the complete. It's good to
Okay.
figure out. I think, yeah, you got
The
it?
supreme good from which all others are derived.
That's right. That's right. Okay.
Okay. That's what I mean. I never looked it up. If one's
I had
serious
a
about
long
going
time
back
ago.
to Godhead, he must consider the mercy of the supreme personality of Godhead, who is the summum bonum, the supreme good from that which all is derived,
There you go.
and the chief aim of life. You know what? That sentence alone can really
Yeah.
sort of like change your day. Oh, there is a purpose why we're here. There is a reason. There is direction. I'm not just like spinning around here trying to raise kids or like maintain a home or maintain a family or work my butt off or save. There's a reason.
Yeah.
This can relieve a person from a lot like, oh, all right. No one ever shared that with me. There is a reason why we're here, and there is an aim of life. Okay.
Let us
If he is a
continue.
father, if he is a father instructing his sons, a spiritual master instructing disciples, or a king instructing his citizens, he must instruct them as I have advised. Without being angry, he should continue giving instructions, even if his disciple, son, or citizen is sometimes unable to follow his order.
Okay, let's slow down right there. That was interesting, wasn't it?
Yeah, what does it mean? He just keeps on telling
No,
them
it just
the way it
means,
is?
well, in other words, without being angry, right? In other words, recognizing what one's realm of influence is, doing your best to give the right instructions. Someone's having trouble following them, becoming angry isn't going to help. You stay steady, right? Keep sharing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Ignorant people who engage in pious and impious activities should be engaged in bhakti. Or
Okay, so that's
devotional
saying
service by all means. Yeah.
people that are reaping good and bad karma, right? Ignorant of their spiritual potential that's beyond karma.
So there's this three types of action. There's karma, vikarma, and akarma. Karma
Mhm.
means you're just getting some result. You're doing some work in the world. You're helping people. You're working, doing good things, positive mental attitude. And then there's vikarma, where you're kicking people down a flight of stairs. You're robbing them. You're a gunda. You're a crooked cop. You're whatever it is. You're doing something bad. You get some bad reaction for that. Both those people, you got to take those actions and you got to gear them towards bhakti actions where you get no karma. You're no longer responsible. You're no longer getting some response to your action. And
I'm
that's
not
what
trying
they
to
say
get
bhakti is.
some future response, right? Like you're not trying to get pleasant things in your life. You're not doing things that are going to reap unpleasant results. You're just doing the right thing, right? You're just doing the right thing.
You're doing the right thing for God, for higher power, for a source. And because of that, you become a sorcerer. You become connected with it. You start acting almost like not of this world.
And
It'll make more
Prabhupada,
sense.
I think we should even, when Prabhupada says this, I know to a lot of ears, this sounds a little abrasive, right? Ignorant people, like just even saying that, it's like, whoa, like,
wait, so who are you telling me I'm ignorant?
Exactly. But it's always been my conviction that when Srila Prabhupada uses these words, he's using them in a way that's like very accurate without the emotional kind of triggering kind of intention
Listen,
that
you
most people use
ignorant
it.
son of a, right? It's not like that.
Yeah.
It's not like ignorant of Vedic teachings. There is like secret codes. You don't have the secret codes, therefore you don't know the teachings. So if you're ignorant of the secret codes, the treasure chest, if you don't know where the treasure chest is kept, you're ignorant. It's got nothing to do with like you being bad or evil. It's just like you're ignorant of truth. Here's a vast storehouse treasure chest of truth. If you don't know about it, you're ignorant of it. That's all.
There you go. Here's the definition of ignorant. You ready? Lacking knowledge or awareness in general, right?
Sure.
So just that right there, lacking knowledge, information, or awareness about a particular thing.
Yeah,
that doesn't mean. In other words,
it's not a judgment call.
It's the right word, and if it would have been worded like this, in other words, if it would have said, people who are lacking knowledge on a particular thing, and who engage in pious and impious activity, there's no trigger there, right?
Yeah.
But Srila Prabhupada's using the word ignorant. It's exactly the right word, but it's just for us, it's got that triggering effect. But
Yeah.
I
triggered.
don't think we should read this
Yeah.
as if it's super condescending.
Right.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Please
They
continue.
should always avoid fruitive activities. Now that's a loud statement, because fruitive activity means, I'm saving up to go to Paris. So I got an extra job. I'm working nights at the gas station. Nope, that's a fruitive activity. That means anything you're working for where you're going to get some result, you shouldn't do that. You should avoid a fruitive activity. What do you think about that? I mean, that's a pretty heavy statement. It should avoid fruitive activities. That means we shouldn't go to work. We shouldn't work an extra job to save a little money because I'm struggling a little. Kostuba, help me out.
He's saying it has to do with one's intention. He's not saying don't do the work, but he's saying get the right purpose. The Bhagavad Gita speaks about like that, the art of all work, right? Like, in other words, you're doing the same thing as another person's doing, but you're doing it with an entirely different motive. Most people are doing things with the motive, the idea that there's something external to myself that I need to be happy, and I got to work for it, right? So that's why I'm doing this job. That's why I'm struggling with this or with that.
Sure.
Here, what Rishabhadev is saying is, no, set your intention right? It's not saying don't do the work, but saying understand that you have the potential for spiritual happiness in you already. It's your nature.
Right.
Don't try to find it through external things. That's fruitive activity. I need some external fruit that I don't currently have. Don't try to look at life from a higher perspective, right? And otherwise, what you do is you get that fruit, but that material fruit is time bound. Whatever it is that you're going to enjoy in it, you're going to enjoy it for a bit, and then you're going to lose it, and then you're going to suffer. You have a potential that's higher than that. And so that's really what he's talking about here.
Yeah. Let's continue on. If
Mhm.
one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit? If one puts into the bondage,
He's saying, he's talking about leadership now, right? He knows that his sons are going to be leaders. And he's saying, if you're a father instructing your son, if you're a guru instructing a disciple, right? If you're a king instructing citizens, you have to give them instructions so that they won't become bound. You have to help them understand their true nature. You have to help them understand that higher potential. If not, whatever your instructions are, they're leading them down a path that's where they're kind of like reaping good and bad results and ultimately suffering. So therefore, here he says, if one puts into the bondage of karmic activity his disciple, son, or citizen,
puts him in it, right?
who is bereft of transcendental vision, how will one profit?
Yeah, just going to go up and down. In the last sentence, he says, it's like leading a blind man into a dark well and causing him to fall in. Right this way, sir, right? Whoa!
Okay.
Text 16. Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest. Again, there's the word ignorance, but no judgment call here. It means you just don't know. There's no light being shown. You've never absorbed yourself in wisdom literature. And even if you have, you still might be clouded by addictive bad choices that I've made in the past. That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to
get caught in a
ourselves.
cycle.
We're caught in a cycle. Won't give me a break. Addictive bad choices. And we're trying to undo that. We're trying to make newer choices. The materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest. It's safe to say I've made choices. All my bad choices, I've 100% chose. Like the worst choices I've ever made, okay, I'm going to do that now. I opt in for this. It's like all the bad choices. It's like I wholeheartedly embrace them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
We don't know ourselves. And sometimes we do them when we're in knowledge as well. I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And your friends are like, what? You're going to do that? Yeah, I'm going to do it. And we're excited about bad choices.
Okay. Let's start the verse over.
Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path of life. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires. Not necessarily lusty for sex, lusty for anything means I want.
Yeah.
Right. So I'm going to go
Mhm.
do it. And all his, we even have a whole branding. Just do it. Just do it. Don't think about it. Just do it.
Okay,
Mara,
Mary,
why so
he's
deadpan
loosening
today,
up
Mara?
now, Mary. You
Mara's
feel it?
just
He's
like-
loosening up.
Yep, doesn't take long.
Okay.
Just do it. Isn't that horrible? That
Well,
subtitle.
you have to try to understand what they're saying. From another perspective, I get just do it. It means, in other words, your mind may tell you, oh, you can't do this, or oh, it's not worth all the struggle. No, you bypass those negative messages in the mind and you just do it. I get that.
Okay. You could really use it in a bad way too.
You could
Should
use it
we
either
or
way.
should we not, rob this bank?
Just do it.
Just do it. Just do it, man.
Yeah, but it
Yeah,
could be like
why?
wake up
Why
early.
not?
Wake up early in the morning and do your meditation. Oh, do I really want to get up early? Just do it.
Just
Right?
do
So
it.
you need a
It
little bit.
really depends how you repose that.
There
Where you
you go.
repose that statement, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It should be like just do it asterisk. Right?
Okay.
If you won't get arrested, go to jail, get some type of disease, just don't do that. Don't do everything. How about that? How about just do some things? Just do some things and then do them.
I don't think that'll work in the
In
I
the
don't think
Nike
that'll make such a
board
great
meeting.
campaign.
Hi, I'm Raghunath. You don't know me, but hear me out here. We're going to change your subtitle of your company. We're going to rebrand this. Just do some things,
But not the other things.
but other things, back off. Don't do those. Just don't do that. Okay.
All right. Let's start the verse over again, Raghunath.
Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. He's
Okay.
simply
We don't know, right? We don't know about reincarnation. I mean, I grew up, nobody told me about that. Nobody told me about karma, right? That whatever you do comes back to you. Nobody told me that the thoughts that I'm having and the actions that I'm performing are creating the next body that I have to enter. Nobody told me about that. I was ignorant of all that.
Mhm. No one told me simple things like if you hate a person, that's your problem.
Mm.
That's a big problem. When you start to hate, like when I was a kid, it'd always be like revenge scenarios. Oh, I'm going to get those guys. Those guys got me. I'm going to get them, to stew in that. No one told me like that's going to hurt you. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And there was like a lot of revenge scenarios going through my mind as a kid when, for the bullies who are going to bully me and I'm going to get them. And there's another one was
Did you ever get them?
romantic. Oh, I got them. Now they're going to get
real.
me. Yeah, but no, you know what else was a big illusion in my life? Not so much anymore. Not at all anymore, but it was a huge part. Like someone out there, let me know on the message board if anybody can relate to this. Someone out there is the person that will fulfill all my desires.
You were told
And
that?
sometimes like there's a woman out there. And sometimes you're like, is that her? Like you just look at her, is that her? Maybe she's the one. Like you don't even know this person. And they're sitting at a coffee shop and they're writing. And I wonder what they're writing about. I bet
Is it
that
about you,
person-
Raghunath? Maybe they're
No,
writing
maybe-
about you.
Yeah, I wonder if that person, that person. Maybe it's not that person. Maybe that's Mrs.
What kind
Right.
of weird kind of thought processes were you going through? What kind of rom-com kind of like conditioned mind are you operating with over there?
It's like romance addiction. This person will save me from my hell. They won't. No one's going to save you from your hell. You're fully responsible for saving yourself from your hell. There,
Okay.
Mara.
And other things they never told us too, like they didn't even tell us that like there's a purpose, just like you were saying earlier in the show, there's a purpose to life. Nobody told us that there are lessons that you're meant to learn from life.
Yeah.
Right? It was kind of just like go out and try to make some money
Make some money. Have some fun. Make some money.
so that you can
do something.
Yeah.
What's rom-com? You mentioned rom-com.
Romantic comedy.
Oh, rom-coms. Okay. Yeah, romantic comedies can really screw you up. You can get lost in those.
So there's a lot of things people never told us. For the most part, we were walking through the world pretty ignorant. I mean, I don't want to say that there weren't good lessons to learn along the way, right?
Yeah.
But I think until I was about 20 or 21, I started getting into this stuff. that's when it really started to click. Like, oh, let me begin to direct my life in a progressive way, right? Rather than just kind of like blindly walking around.
You know
Trying
what?
to
Like the hardcore scene trained us to be. The hardcore scene was like a music scene that me and Kostuba were a part of when we were teenagers.
Yeah.
But it sort of trained me more to be like a dog. You know, you sort of like gotta bark. You gotta like stand your ground. You gotta bark. Oh, they're gonna
That's
bark.
New
You
York
gotta
in
bark
general.
louder. You gotta work. You gotta have a pack of dogs with you. It was like really doggish, wasn't it?
That's kind of New York in general too. It's kind of like,
New York is doggish. It
yeah,
makes
there's
you
just
like gotta
you gotta
bark and guard, show your teeth. If you
fight
hang
for
out
your
like
little territory.
India, you see like packs of dogs, right, Mara? Remember the other day we were just walking down and there was like that you could tell like there were 7 dogs surrounding this one dog, and the dog was like, "Okay, you guys," and he was like, "No!" And then he ran. They all chased him. The other guys went the other way. I was like, "This is life. This is life. These dogs."
What would happen if you threw Gus right in the middle of all that?
Oh, Gus can't fight his way out of a rice wrapper, a rice, like
Gus would take a nap.
Gus would take a nap. He'd be like, "Just eat me. Just eat me."
Okay. All right. Let's get back into this first.
All right.
We can't get through this.
Start it over. Let's start this over. This is good though. This is some important stuff.
At least you got me out of my nose consciousness.
I know we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
I feel we're picking up momentum in the show right now.
Well, just to understand, like, I'm not this nose is a relief, big deal.
They didn't teach us that either. They did not teach us. Nobody said to us, "Hey."
No, they say get a nose job.
Yeah.
I had a girl in 7th grade who got a nose job, and I was probably responsible for part of it.
No.
Well, because I was
You
mean
sure?
and my friends were mean, and we all made fun of her nose. I didn't think she'd actually go and get a nose job because of it.
I think you need to go back and apologize to this girl.
You know what? It's
It
horrible.
would be good for you.
It is horrible, actually, in retrospect.
All right. Well, here's the point. This is my point. Now, I'd imagine there was some figure in your life that said, "Hey, don't be mean to other children."
You know what? It was 7 seconds. The band 7 seconds. I give them all credit for making me nicer.
Okay.
Remember that band? They were a hardcore band, but they spoke about like be nice, just
Positive
be nice.
things. Yeah.
Positive things. I was like, oh, really? You're supposed to be nice? That's what you're supposed to do?
But even that,
they influenced my songwriting.
Well, that's a good thing. But even that, like, what would have been really valuable is if from your earliest memories,
worship deities.
No, hear me out.
Sang songs about worshiping deity. You're saying, offer your food to Krishna.
Will you hear me out?
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Slow down a little bit. You're all grumpy and you sluggish at the beginning of the show, and now like I can't get a word in edgewise. So imagine what this like. I mean, we get to watch people be raised this way, but imagine from your earliest memories and from the point where you can begin to conceive.
Yeah.
About life, that you are being instructed that, hey, everything you do comes back to you. So know that, right? Don't be mean to the other kids, because the law of karma is going to bring that right back to you. Wouldn't that have been a wonderful thing to learn as a kid?
Yeah, even not with a threat of karma, just be kind.
Well, a little threat of karma is good there too. Just like not even threat, but just like the knowledge, right? The knowledge of this is how this world works. You need to know it. Or the knowledge you're not your body. Hey, understand that this is just a vehicle you're walking around in. Everybody's walking around in a different vehicle, and we switch them and we change them. You were in another vehicle before, so don't make fun of those people. You may have been wearing that vehicle. You may be in that vehicle next,
Exactly.
Like that would have been a great thing to learn.
Yeah, it would have been a great thing to learn.
Yeah.
That would have changed the whole, just a little bit of information, a little bit of wisdom.
Look at Rocco, right? You just had his 16th birthday. He knows this stuff. He grew up with it. He's a sweet kid. He's a really good kid. Look at your daughter, right? She's like, everybody should care for the animals and everything like that. She's got that.
She's nice. They're not. I wasn't nice.
We didn't have that, Raghunath.
No one taught me. I mean, they were good parents. They were nice parents.
But they didn't know all of this stuff. And they were leading us into a dark ditch. Like the previous verse was saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's read this verse.
Let's continue on here.
Yeah. The whole verse, read it again. Due to ignorance.
Due to ignorance, the materialistic person does not know anything about his real self-interest, the auspicious path in life. Oh, it's like a treasure treasure chest locked up. He is simply bound to material enjoyment by lusty desires.
Right.
And all his plans are made for this purpose.
That's it.
How can I do this? How will this satisfy my senses? How will this
You
satisfy
spend your whole
my
life.
senses?
I need more money. I need a better mate. I need this, that. You're just working for that.
And then when you get more money and get the better mate, it's only a matter of time before you get bored with it. I thought she was Mrs. Right. She's not Mrs. Right. This person over there is Mrs. Right. Oh, there's a new Mrs. Right in town. Woo! Right?
Okay, right. For temporary sense gratification.
Okay, I'm just sharing that material, the material things. After a while, we get bored with them, and then we have to we rearrange that.
We do. Yeah.
Right. For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy.
Right. We're Society of Envy from Bayonne, New Jersey. That's a perfect hardcore Krishna core band right there. Society of Envy, right?
Yeah. Okay, guys, Krishna core people out there, write this down. I want to see Lori Pag and the Chief. I want to see them in a hardcore band.
Okay.
I want to see her playing bass, him singing. Okay, but anyway, this is part of my thing. Is what I was saying earlier is you have this person, or you're a person that gets attracted to whatever, a spouse or anything. Like, look at my new kitchen. I got a new kitchen. And then when you get that thing, you get people who are envious of the thing or person or thing you have, and you create envy of it. And then all of a sudden, someone else comes along. Oh, you got a new kitchen? Well, this is the latest thing they're doing with kitchens. There is a bubble machine coming out of your countertop, giving you carbonated water on demand. My brother has a bubble machine coming out of his countertop. We did.
Did it make him happier, Raghunath?
It probably does a little, but I become envious.
Wears off quick.
Machine.
Wears off quick, though, right?
He's got like a Starbucks barista built into his refrigerator. So you want an espresso, a double shot, oat latte, whatever you want. You go into his on his refrigerator. You just stick your cup in his refrigerator. It makes you like you could be at Starbucks. So I'm just saying, you create envy, and then guess what? There are going to be a newer one next year, and then you become envious of that thing. And we spend our life chasing updated, 2024 things that aren't out yet, and it creates a society of envy.
And envy here again, when Prabhupada uses the word envy, I believe he also just means animosity, right? So, because we're all fighting for the same resources for our sense gratification, sure, we tend to have animosity towards one another. Okay, hit it. Keep going.
People do it with partners too. You have a beautiful wife, a beautiful husband, a beautiful spouse, and all of a sudden you're like, okay, I want the 2024 model. I want to upgrade. Like, wait a second. Envy, lusty desires, driving people around.
Okay.
For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy, and due to this mentality, they plunge into an ocean of suffering. It's a great movie that has a lot to do with this.
Okay.
Mara, cut the... I'm watching you, Mara.
We've tried so many times to get through this entire verse.
Well, I'm just saying, this verse is bringing things up. This is what we're supposed to do.
What's the movie?
He's out. Woody Allen, Husbands and Wives. It's a very Krishna conscious movie without Krishna in it, of course. But it's like, it just talks about the pain of material existence. Great movie. Well,
what he does something that a rare writer can do, I've noticed. He can write dialogue that brings out very subtle but very deep emotion, Yeah. And when it's done, it kind of goes right to people's darkest fears and everything like that.
Yeah. Okay, Mara, let's watch that. Husbands and Wives, Woody Allen.
Wives.
Okay. She never says I don't wanna. No, you can watch that. She's like, okay.
She's just like, as soon as we finish this verse, we can talk about it. But
you're gonna fall asleep 2 minutes into the movie anyway, so I can choose whether or not I want to watch it then.
Oh, Krishna.
Okay, for temporary sense gratification.
I fell asleep watching comedy last night on my phone. Oh,
all right.
My eye lens just dropped out. I don't know if anybody saw that. I'm
You're a
falling
mess,
apart
Raghunath.
today.
You were so together in India. Now you're like a mess. You got back home. Your glasses are broken.
Sat on them, and now
Luggage,
the
you're grumpy.
lens popped out. All right.
There you go. For temporary sense gratification.
Well, you know why I was listening to comedy? Because I was falling asleep at the wheel, and the only way to keep me awake is to laugh. And so I fell asleep listening to Nate Barzgatti last night. Clean humor is good. Netflix him. Nate
Note that down,
Barzgatti.
Mara.
Clean humor. Clean humor is good. It's good. It's very healthy. You want to go to a spa and get a massage and get wellness? You want wellness? Laugh.
No laughter.
Laugh. People, devotees especially, with all this gravity, you need to laugh more. You need to laugh a little. Laugh
What
away
gravity
your
you're
stress.
talking about?
Laugh away your mind. Laugh away your worries.
Okay.
Laugh.
And occasionally finish a verse.
Occasionally study wisdom and laugh. Those two things married together.
Okay.
For temporary sense gratification, such a person creates a society of envy, and due to this mentality, they plunge into an ocean of suffering. Such a foolish person does not even know about this. Again,
Isn't
it's
it
not
true?
It's not just saying, yo, fool. It's not going around like that. It's saying we're foolish because we don't have direction. You might have a great car, but if you don't have the GPS set, you're just lost. You're lost in the city, just wandering.
Well,
Oh man, this is a one-way street. Where am I going?
It's interesting that you said that, Raghunath. Like, in other words, you need some kind of guidance system or some kind of vision that you don't have. Now, let's tune into the Srila Prabhupada's commentary here. You ready? I'm going to read it because you look like your glasses are falling apart.
Yeah, you've got.
Are you with me?
Motives why I'm not reading this, but go on.
Okay. The word Nashta Drishti. Okay, what does Nashta Drishti mean? Raghunath?
Nashta.
What does Nashta mean?
It's not nose, is it? Nashta.
No.
Drishti. Vision. Nashta.
Drishti is vision.
No
Nashta
vision.
means like
No
to
vision.
destroyed vision.
No
like that,
vision.
right?
No vision.
No vision, yeah. The word Nashta Drishti means one who has no eyes to see the future. Is very significant in this verse. Life goes on. This is what they don't tell us, right? These are some of the things that we never learn as kids. Life goes on from one body to another, and the activities performed in this life are enjoyed or suffered in the next life, right? Based on what we do, if not later in this life, right? Everything that we're doing has future consequences that we either enjoy or we suffer. One who is unintelligent, who has no eyes to see the future, simply creates enmity and fights with others for sense gratification. It gets tiring, doesn't it? Doesn't it get exhausting? It gets exhausting. When you see those pack of dogs, we're supposed to look at that and say, oh, I'm living like that dog.
I don't want to be in a pack of dogs. I don't want to be in this chicken coop where the head rooster's strutting around, showing his stuff, pecking,
No,
the whole thing
I have
is
higher
like, you
potential.
can understand the entire gist of material existence watching a bunch of chickens in a chicken coop or a pack of dogs.
Well, and probably so if we don't have the eyes to see that we're living just like that, we are lost. Okay. As a result, one suffers in the next life, but due to being like a blind man, he continues to act in such a way that he suffers unlimitedly. Such a person is a mudha, one who simply wastes their time and does not understand the Lord's devotional service, as stated in Bhagavad Gita 7:25.
Yeah.
Naham prakasha sarvasya yogamaya samavritaha
Everybody should learn
mudho yam. Huh?
Everybody should
What's
learn
that?
that verse. Everybody should
Mudho
learn
yam.
that verse.
I know that one.
I know. I'm saying people who like verses, that's a great
Yeah.
verse.
It's a great verse to learn. Naham prakasha sarvasya. Naham, I am not. Prakasha, manifest. Sarvasya, to all of those people. Yogamaya samavrita. I'm covered by my energy, right? Mudho yam. These fools. It's heavy. I'm never manifest to the foolish and unintelligent. For them, I'm covered by my external creative potency, Yogamaya. And so the deluded world knows me not, who am unborn and infallible. In the Katha Upanishad, it is said, ancient text, ancient yoga text, avidyayam antare vartamanaha swayam dhira panditam manyamanaha. Although ignorant, people still go to other blind men for leadership. As a result, both are subjected to miserable conditions. The blind lead the blind into the ditch. We didn't learn these things, right? But if you're going to be a father, as a matter of fact, I think that's the next verse. Is it the next verse?
17. If someone is ignorant, no.
Text 18. Text 18 is a very famous verse. Go ahead, read 17.
Text 17. If someone is ignorant and addicted, great word to throw in there, addicted to the path of samsara. I want to do this again. Let's do it again.
We're addicted to samsara.
Addicted. Oh, that's a good name for a band. Addicted to samsara. Even samsara. Even addicted. Even the addicts. How can one who is actually learned, merciful fate, and advanced in spiritual knowledge, those whole verses, names of bands right here. Advanced in spiritual knowledge, engage him in fruitive activity, another name, and thus further entangle him in material existence.
Let's read the whole sentence straight through.
It's like 17 band names in that sentence. If someone is ignorant and addicted to the path of samsara, how can one who is actually learned, merciful, and advanced in spiritual knowledge engage him in fruitive activity and thus further entangle him in material existence? If a blind man is walking down the wrong path, how can a gentleman allow him to continue on his way to danger? How can he approve this method? No wise or kind man can allow this. So this is an important thing, because it's saying, like, not out of your arrogance are you going to give this information to people. It's actually because you care. You're not going to, I'm going to school you fools. No, it's not. That's not the mood of giving transcendental information to people. It's because you actually, there's a bigger picture that I'm learning this as I'm giving it. It's not like me and Kostuba sitting up here, Mara's slightly below us, and we're going to help you, the masses who are an illusion.
They're slightly below us.
She's slightly below us here.
Condescension there.
Kostuba's on my shoulders. Okay, I'll accept that. But the thing with the rest of you, plebeians, no, it's like we're all in this trying to climb out of the well together. Kostuba and myself, we're just repeating what the sages say, and I'm going to learn from that. And someone listening to the audience live, they can be more advanced in certain ways, and I could be more advanced, and I could say, well, I've been into this for who cares how long you've been into this? I've been into Maya for lifetimes. I've been really into Maya for lifetimes. So it doesn't matter how long we've been doing this. I've practiced addictive habits for so long. They've become a part of me. Even my self-identity is tied into my bad choices, right? So we have to start undoing these things. And by hearing truth on a regular basis, I start to say, okay, I'm gonna go left instead of right. I by default go right at this fork, but I'm gonna go left today and see how that result feels. And
okay, so well, now this,
and there's thousands of choices that keep us entangled, and thousands of choices that lead us to liberation. Doesn't matter how long we've been listening to this. Some people are like, some people are just trusting and loving and thoughtful, and some people are angry and envious. I could be practicing bhakti for 50 years, but if I'm angry and envious and hurtful and resentful, that's lifetimes of practice. I got to take that stuff very, very seriously.
That's right. And whoever you're going to instruct in life, you have to know this and help them understand it. And that's where this next very famous verse, text 18, comes in. Text 18. We don't want to let our people walk into the ditch, as the previous verse was saying. Okay, text 18, Raghunath.
One who cannot deliver his dependence from the path of repeated birth and death should never become a spiritual master, a father, a husband, a mother, or a worshipable demigod. Okay, I'm going to cross off worshipable demigod off my list, because that was up there. I was like, I want to be a baseball player, a cop, an army man, or a demigod.
Yeah, but here's the point, right? That
you can't lead. You can't lead unless you can deliver your dependence. You don't have kids just for the sake of having kids. I want a baby. I got my body clock is going off. I want a baby. No, you don't get a baby for that. You
It's
get
a
a
big
baby 'cause you
responsibility.
choose. Yeah, it's a huge. You get a baby because you got to be able to liberate them from birth and death, and they might not take it. I've been trying to feed my kids this for a while. They might not take it. They might eat it, chew it, and spit it out. But at least you have to be situated yourself in some connection with source to give it to somebody else. And what they do with it, that's their thing. But we can't go around leading unless we become qualified to lead. And we have to be connected. I can't reach out my hand to save Mara if I'm not holding on to the boat and she's drowning. I'm just going to drown too.
Prabhupada's, he's giving lists. He's mentioning some examples from these sacred texts of times where there were leaders who were not properly leading their followers, right? He says, we have many instances in history illustrating Rishabhadev's instructions. Sukracharya was rejected by Mara.
Bali.
Oh yeah. Did you just read it or did you?
Yeah,
know?
I read it.
Oh, I was like, I'm so proud of you, Mara. I'm so proud of you.
Sukracharya was rejected by Bali Maharaj due to his inability to save Bali Maharaj from the path of repeated birth and death. Sukracharya was a powerful mystic guru, right?
Mm-hmm.
He could give you so many fascinating and powerful instructions, but he wasn't able to actually help Bali, even though he was learned, even though he was mystic, even though he was powerful, he wasn't able to help Bali move towards making the right decisions towards his own self-interest. So Bali rejected him, right? Sukracharya was not a pure devotee, but he was more or less inclined to fruitive activity. And he objected when Bali Maharaj promised to give everything to Lord Vishnu. Actually, one is supposed to give everything to the Lord because everything belongs to the Lord. Consequently, Krishna advises in the Bhagavad Gita 9:27, Yad karoshi, yad ajnashi, yad juhoshi dadasi yat, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat karushva mad arpanam. O son of Kunti, O Arjuna, all that you do, all that you eat, all that you offer and give away, as well as all the austerities that you perform, they should be done as an offering unto me, right? Not because he thinks because he's the root of all existence. You water the root, right? Mm-hmm. Prabhupada says this is bhakti. Unless one is devoted, they cannot give everything to the Supreme Lord. Unless one can do so, he cannot become a guru, a husband, a father, or a mother. Similarly, now he's going to go to Bhagavatam. The wives of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices gave up their relatives just to satisfy Krishna. Right? This is an example of a wife rejecting a husband who does not deliver her from the impending dangers of birth and death. Right? Their husbands were like, no, don't give anything to Krishna. What are you doing? They're like, you know what? We're not going to listen to you. Mm-hmm. Right? We're going to surrender. We're going to connect. We're going to connect with that original source. That's what you have to be able to help someone understand. If you're going to take any role of leadership, it's being said here.
That was beautiful. Right. That was beautiful.
Thank you, Raghunath. I think we're 19. Getting close to it. You want to do 19? Okay.
My transcendental body. My transcendental body. Satchitananda. My transcendental body. Satchitananda.
What's going on? Just it's body.
Being an idiot. I'm being an idiot today.
Okay.
Looks exactly like a human form, but it is not material human body. It is
very
inconceivable.
important.
I'm not forced by nature to accept a particular body, right? Isn't that interesting to think of? We are forced to accept the body due to our choices, due to any type of, be it good karma or bad karma. Okay, that's what you got. Now you get a body to fit all those choices.
Even if you don't like it.
You may not like it, but you chose it. You don't like the body, right? Like kids say, I was never asked to be born. That's your theory. Yes, you. My theory is, yes, you were. Yes, you were. And you were asked to have me as your parent too, by the way. All of your choices culminated in you coming out of her womb for this very purpose. So I appreciate your theory, like you were never asked to be born, but there's other theories out there too. Okay. I take on my body. This is God speaking. I take on my body by my own sweet will. My heart is also spiritual, and I always think of the welfare of my devotees. Ah, isn't that sweet?
Very sweet.
That is an important statement. God always cares for the welfare of the devotees. Therefore, within my heart can be found the process of bhakti, devotional service, which is meant for the devotees. Far from my heart have I abandoned adharma, irreligion, right? And non-devotional activities. They do not appeal to me, right? Due to all these transcendental qualities, people generally pray to me as Rishabhadev, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the best of all living entities.
You know what, Raghunath?
What?
One way to look at bhakti, or you could say one way to look at yoga, or you could say one way to look at how to live the best possible life, right?
How can I live the best possible life ever?
How to look at
Kostuba?
dharma. It means really it's a real simple formula that I've got one goal. Remember where we got started?
Tell me,
What
fill
was
my
that?
cup.
Back to, was it text 15? One who is serious about going back home, back to Godhead, they must consider the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead as the sum and bone, the ultimate highest good, right?
Mm.
So like, what is it that I have to do to achieve that highest good? In one sense, it's the simple formula that I want my heart, right? That when I say my heart, that means my thoughts, my feelings, my desires, especially those things that are particularly held dear. I want them to align with the heart of God, right? I don't want, like, I want one thing, but God wants another thing. I want these two to be perfectly lined up. And so here, God is revealing his heart, and he's saying, what did he say? He says, my heart is also spiritual. I always think of the welfare of my devotees, so my heart has to be thinking that way. He therefore says that within my heart can be found the process of devotional service. And he says, far from my heart, I have abandoned a dharma and non-devotional activities. They do not appeal to me. We have to become like that, right? There's still all this junk that appeals to us. And we're watching it on YouTube and we're watching it on Netflix and we're walking down the streets looking for this stuff.
Looking for trouble.
Where Krishna says, I've already thrown that stuff away. It does nothing for my heart. It doesn't appeal to me at all. We have to get our heart lined up in the same way. We're going to feel good when we do, Raghunath.
We're not looking for trouble. We're looking for diversions.
Okay.
You know what? Tarun learned a new shloka. Isn't that good?
Oh, which one?
Back on the shloka boat.
You got it back on track.
A good one. It reminded me because this verse, Machita Makata Prana Bodhayanta Parasparam. Thoughts of my pure devotees dwell in me. Isn't that a beautiful line? Like the thoughts of my devotees dwell in Krishna. Krishna's thinking of us. How nice is that?
Yeah, he does. It goes both ways.
Nice. Yeah. We don't. It's not like we're just we're meditating Krishna. We got to do our puja, our worship. We got to chant. Krishna's thinking of us. Isn't that nice? Think of that.
There's another verse in Bhagavatam where Krishna says, he says that the devotee is always in my heart. He says, I'm always in the hearts of my devotees, and the devotees are always in my heart. They can think of nothing but me, and I can think of nothing but them.
Isn't that amazing?
So what is it, Sadhunam? I forget that one. I used to know that one. Got to look that one up again. Mara, do we have any takeaways?
Mara.
I got some good stuff. Pity me not. Pity me not. Your nose will grow too.
Pity me not.
Pity me not, listeners.
That's a t-shirt. Pity me not. Your nose will grow too.
Connect with your real self-interest.
That's right.
Boring. I wouldn't wear that as a shirt, but
Raghunath, now you got to stop being mean to other people that sent in these boring. You're like what was it, that lady that like runs Vogue magazine, you know? Boring. Next.
Well, you know, here's what I do, Kostuba. I'm selling bhakti here. You know, I like to push. I'm a spreader of the holy name, but you need catchy things. It's like marketing. It's marketing. Its whole thing is marketing, but it's not marketing to sell some mundane product. You got to figure out. You got to figure out what's, you know, like when you distribute a book to someone, you don't just say this is a book. You say this is a great book that really changed my life, and you sell it. So you need a little kindness. You need a little sexy statement.
But with kindness.
But with kindness, yeah. You say with kindness.
All right.
All right.
When you judge it, you have to judge it with kindness. That's my point.
Yeah.
Oh.
Just do some things.
That is
Something.
actually very funny. Just do some things.
Oh, but by the way, we got
and
that
then
verse
do
up
them.
there. Chapu shared the verse.
Oh,
Srimad-bhagavatam 9:468. Sadhuva hridayam mayam sadhunam hridayam twaham. Mananya te na janati naham tebhyo managapi. The pure devotee is always within the core of my heart, and I am always within the heart of my pure devotee. My devotees do not know anything else but me, and I do not know anything else
Boom. Yeah, I'll do
but
that.
them.
Mara, she's vying for your job. She's all over this. Shah Strictly Chapu's.
She's good.
Oh,
She's much better than
Chapu's
I
good.
have.
Mara's
She's
like,
way
she
more
can have,
was
intelligent.
quick
have
and
my
with
more
job. I
biased.
never knew what I was getting into.
Take
He's
it.
much
Take
more
it, Chapu.
qualified.
Great job.
He's sweeter.
right.
Yeah,
No, but she could be like our Shastra.
Shastra.
too.
Yeah, okay.
definitely.
You got a new job. Give it a title, Raghu.
You are
Shastra-
Shastradar.
Shastradar. Okay.
Holder
Good.
of Shastra.
Very good. Okay.
Shastradari.
Dari, yeah.
Dari.
No one is going to save you from your hell.
Well,
Okay.
that sounds
Oh,
that
that
sounds
sounds
helpless.
Okay.
I wear
That's
that
a little
shit
dark.
around.
I got
people-
another version of it. You're fully
Okay.
responsible for saving yourself from your own hell.
Okay, that helps.
There
that
we
better?
go. There we go. Flip it around. Give some hope, people. Or else we become these devotees who are like, everything's horrible. The material world is suffering. No, material world's great if you identify yourself as a spiritual person.
Right. Want wellness? Laugh.
Laugh a little.
Okay, all right.
I love to laugh.
Mara,
That was a
keep
weird
going.
song.
Keep-
I don't want to be in a pack of dogs.
No, I don't want to be in a pack of that.
I don't. Yeah.
We're all trying to climb out of the well together.
Yeah.
We're all in this together.
Align your heart with the heart of God.
Boom.
That is like
okay.
a Christian rock song.
And
Align your heart with the
And-
heart of God. I can hear Jeff Eisenberg singing that song right now in a Christian church with his acoustic guitar. Align your heart. That good Jeff Eisenberg deep voice he's got.
Very
Okay.
good.
and
And
whack it out.
whack it out, people. Whack it out.
What was that about? I don't remember that one.
It's about that's,
Oh, yeah,
go to
yeah,
a,
about
going
that.
to a trampoline
Lawyers.
park, going to a trampoline park, getting all your aggressions out on your ex, just whacking it, just jumping up and down, whacking each other. That's how this whole show
change the
started. If
subject.
you came in late, that makes no sense. Whack it out. But if you came in early, it makes a lot of sense. Peace
Okay.
can be found. Peace is there for you at that trampoline park. Get Air in Albany. It was a really peaceful day. Just jumping, flipping, diving, doing some handstands.
Why don't we give a little reminder that tomorrow we're at 8 a.m. Eastern time, right?
Yeah, tomorrow Saturday, 8 a.m.
Q&A.
Check out. Rocco did these things. Have you seen my Instagram? He did these repeated backflips. Kid is so good, man.
So impressive.
It was so impressive. Go to my Instagram. Watch Rocco's backflips.
All right.
Thanks everybody for joining us. Whack an X.